Damn, this is so fucking annoying because literally, like, so much of it didn't record because it fell off and I didn't make sure it was recording. Let's, now I'm fucking, okay, good. Anyways, so I was talking about porn, whatever. And so I realized additionally that, I kind of talked to my friends about this, one of my close friends, like one of my best friend at the time, who we were extremely close. We had like a really close, great, like really intimate relationship with each other. And I thought I was into them, but I wasn't really into them. I just was extremely comfortable, and I realized that that relationship really allowed me to be so comfortable that like I realized so much about myself and my transness just from allowing myself to be so comfortable and open in myself with someone, where she was like she was the first person that I told to everything and kind of like worked through a lot of things with, and just was really able to like trust someone with myself, and they were just like extremely loving and accepting in response. um so yeah, one of the big parts I look back on, and basically like my first time actually coming out to someone as trans, was like we were hanging out one day and I was like, yo, like I was saying, like as my attraction to girls, I figured out was in a different way. It was like my general moment with girls is kind of like a different thing. And so I was like, yo, like I'm feeling really masculine. I think it came off as kind of like romantic because initially she was like, is this a date? And I was like, it's not a date. Like, I view you in a way that I don't view myself, and I view you as a girl because you told me that you're a girl, but I don't view myself that way, and I view myself in a masculine way. Um, and I was like, I feel like that kind of like not changes the way that like we're friends, but I was just like, that's just kind of like, I kind of had this realization about like how I view us and like each other and like whatever, and like and so that was that. And I think back and realized that was kind of like my first time coming out to someone as trans, where I was like, in my head I was saying, yo, I'm trans, I'm a dude, and they were like, yo, you're interested in me? And which is hilarious because that's like the quintessential like when you come out to someone as gay and they're like, yo, you're interested in me? It's like, no, I'm not fucking interested in you, I'm just like fucking talking to you, you idiot. I take that back. But anyways, I'm just mad because so much of this was erased, and so now I'm catching back up of what I've said on everything and like whatever. Um, and so, which is funny because kind of after that, they were like my favorite person, but I also feel like I put a lot of pressure on that friendship, because I was super depressed at that point in time, because I realized that about myself, and I was like, dang, um, it's going to be, I realized how much that my gender, my presentation, and how I viewed myself was really hurting me, because I really was wearing binders like every day. I was binding, I was using I was using KT tape. I was dressing how I wanted to. But at the same time, like I had like extreme depression and anxiety because I had so much negative response like from my family. And I was living at home. I wasn't living at school. Um, and I did the entirety of the end of my junior year and my senior year on Zoom at home, and just like a lot of hurtful, mean things like being said, and my sister outing me without my permission, and like people finding my social medias and like talking within the family behind my back and like, oh, you're going to hell, your life is destruction, what's up, all this trans shit. My dad like fucking trying to throw out my clothes and forced me to wear makeup. He was like, I'm gonna start buying you makeup because you're not wearing makeup anymore. Which was really frustrating because, like I said, it kind of made me crawl back into a hole. And so I put a lot of pressure on that friendship. And for me, it was never about being interested in them, but the lines were crossed, I feel like, because that was like one of the few people that was giving me affirmation in who I was, if that makes sense. So it's like, dang, you're one of the few people that's making me feel super good about myself, and the idea of you not being in my life anymore or whatever is gonna like suck and whatever. And eventually we're not friends anymore, which is hilarious because during all of my endless YouTube videos watching and whatever, and like social media whatever, I was like, yo, I do not want to be in a relationship. I do not want to be with a girl. I don't want to be with anyone. I don't want to be romantically involved. I don't want to have a crush. I don't want to do whatever. When at the beginning of my transition, when I'm starting T, because I was like, I understand my own proclivity and my own insanity and my own like long yearning from my being romantically neglected and like put off as a kid, that I would put a lot of attention and pressure and like a lot of my identity, things I need to figure out, and like lean on them a lot. Which it's great to have a support system, but it was kind of just like, I know myself and I knew that wasn't gonna fucking turn out. And so that's kind of one of the reasons that like our friendship ended, which was fucking sad, because it was like all of a sudden I'm being treated differently because now I told you that I'm a guy and this is my name and these are my pronouns. It's like, oh, now we can't do this anymore. It's like, and that was like insane for me because it all just came fucking full circle, where it's like, I am now crying because you feel uncomfortable around me all of a sudden, even though nothing has changed. And now, when after I've fought so hard to say, you can be a guy and not be the fucking guy that everyone hates and everyone's uncomfortable around and is selfish and all the things I was saying earlier, the predator, the whatever, the cheater, the liar, the whatever, someone that you can't feel whatever around. And it's like, now this is physically happening in front of my eyes with someone that like was the closest person to my heart, and I just was crushed by that. But it was kind of just like, yo, you said you wanted to be a man, so fucking man up. Which is like toxic to say. These are all jokes and euphemisms and whatever. But it was just like, okay, well, you made this decision, and I need to be strong for myself and love myself despite things like not working in this area with one of your friends and like whatever. So that was really, really hard and frustrating, but also just like what I said, it was like, I knew that this was going to be hard, and I know that sometimes I don't always trust myself and have trust in my own intuition and like believe myself and my own emotions and feelings and how I feel. And I'm still working on that. That's that to this day with myself, and just trusting myself fully and not trusting other people's opinions and their thoughts above mine. And that's just been a big act within myself of like getting my testosterone. Because like I said, for me, it was a lot of just like physically, I'm not enjoying myself at all, and I know this is not who I am. And the few times where I can like Photoshop the picture, or where I can put my name on this social media because I've blocked it from my family, I feel so good. And so I was online a bunch, and I could make my screen name whatever and interact whatever way, and I was on VR a bunch, and I could create my avatar and look a certain way, and it was so life-giving and fulfilling and la 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 la, that I was like, yo, I think testosterone might be for me. And so I did so much research and like whatever, and I was like, should I, shouldn't I? But I was like, this is what I need to do. But also at the same time, it was like, when I got it and I was sitting there on the first time I got it, and I was like, do I really fucking want this that badly? Am I fucking making it up? Like, for a while it's like, am I fucking making it up? But it's like, I'm in so much anguish and pain and discomfort with myself that it's like, I don't know what I would do without trying this. And like some other people say, like, you don't know until you can try it for yourself. Like, how on earth would I know what it feels like to be on testosterone? I wouldn't have known unless I tried it. And when I tried it, I was like, yo, this is fucking amazing, the best thing ever, and I'm so extremely happy. But also, it's not like it's going to change my own depression. Like, it did help me generally, Whereas I feel so much more confident. I feel so much more like I understand myself and know myself and who I am and who I'm becoming, and I'm excited about it. I have so much more excitement about my life. Like, I literally say, like, I am alive now that I realize that I'm trans. Like, I was so dead. Like, I was sleepwalking. Like, and it's so frustrating because it's like, geez, that's fucking insane. Like, I thought that that's how just everyone felt. Like, kind of just like the whole world is gray. And now I'm like, yo, this is fucking crazy. Like, I am living. I am taking life by the reins. I am like, I don't know. And it's like, when I even did my gender assessment appointment with my doctor to get the testosterone, and they were talking about like my childhood memories and stuff like that, it's like I am so disconnected from my life before I realized that I was trans. Like, it doesn't even feel like I lived that life. Like, it's not the same person at all. And it seems extreme and insane, but that's just truly how I feel. Where it's like, yo, maybe I fucking lost 1 trillion brain cells when I was smoking heavy, but I that was not me living my life. Like, it literally was not. I was on fucking autopilot. Like, the world was in grayscale. Like, I can't access those memories because that wasn't me. Like, that's literally how I think. Versus now, I have, and I give myself grace now because it's like now that I'm so in myself and so in the world as myself, like I'm feeling very raw on the outside. I'm feeling very vulnerable. I'm feeling very like, yo, like, I wish I would have gone through this when I was in fucking elementary, middle school, high school. Like, I wish I would have gone through these struggles then. Versus now I'm feeling very like they say you're going through puberty again. Like, I feel like I'm growing up again and like kind of facing all these things again, and like everything's at 1,000. Like, I was living at like 10 and now I'm like, whoa. Like, you know when you've been resuscitated and you're like that's how I feel, which is crazy. So it brings to me a lot of anxiety and fear where it's like I gotta dig into myself and be brave for myself because I love myself enough to do this for myself. But on the other end, it's like, oh, I'm so fucking excited. Like, this is crazy. Like, the fact that I found this out about, like, I found this out and I made these decisions and I see how positively it's affecting my life. It's like, yo, I'm so excited to try everything over again. I'm excited to put myself out there because I might like things this time. And I might be able to be like, yo, that was insane discomfort that I felt because I wasn't authentically living myself. And now that I've figured out this piece of the puzzle, this is like a key that's an opening door for me where it's like, I really just want to try this thing at life again. And I think that I will be so much more happy. And I have been. My first week on tea, this is gonna be like kind of a tea update. I'm 4 months now. Um, First time I took tea, the first week of tea, it was like rainbows shooting out of my ass. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. I felt so good. I felt so in my body. Like, I felt physically in control of what I was doing. I felt very like it was so physical, which I feel like makes sense for what testosterone is. But I felt so like able and capable in my mind and my body, and just like so on cloud 9. My confidence was up. Generally, my general depression and like my symptoms of like my depression, ADHD, and my anxiety, etc. Like, that's just some things that I'm just have to work with in life. So all that doesn't go away. Like, testosterone doesn't clear up your general trauma and problems and etc. in life, but it can fucking help with some things. And I attested, that it did help, and I was really feeling good and whatever. But sometimes reality hits, and you're still in your fucking house with your fucking terrible ass parents and terrible ass family, whatever. But anyway, so first week was so amazing. I couldn't go through my parents' insurance, obviously, because they weren't going to support me. And so I was paying an insane amount out of pocket monthly to get my testosterone. I was initially prescribed 0.3 milliliters, 0.3 milliliters per week subcutaneously. And even when I first did my shot, I was like, do you really want this? And it's like, I gotta fucking want it. I'm gonna fucking want it. And so I just fucking stabbed it and did it. And it's really so little amount. Like, you would think it would be a crazy amount, but it's really not. It's like so small. Anyway, so point 0.3 felt amazing, felt good. I was like, this is it. I'm like cruising right now. And I was like, I'm feeling so fucking good. I'm gonna up this shit. And so I was very immature. And I think is also like it is a controlled substance for this exact reason, so people don't abuse it. I'm not condoning it. This is just like my experience of what I did. Anyways, I have impulse issues and whatever, and kind of like things with needing to feel good. Anyways, so I up it. I do 0.4. I'm doing that for like the next month and a half. Yeah, I want to say month and a half basically. So first 2 months I'm out of insurance, paying out of pocket. First half of the month doing 0.3, feeling great, up to 0.4, feeling good still. And I can't tell at this point if it was like, yo, things are becoming a little bit too much. Like, I feel like 0.3 was a great moment for me, and I think I want to go back up to 0.3. And 0.4 was kind of like the edge where I shouldn't have been. So I could be like 0.35 or 0.4 if I was in a fucking environment that was conducive and not fucking like scary to be in. And like traumatic. So whatever. So 0.4, and then also some other like shit was happening, and like a relationship that I shouldn't have been in was happening. And just things kind of were getting worse. So like my emotions were on like a trillion all the time. So my highs were insane, but my lows were insane. And one of the things that I did realize emotionally was like it was just really hard for me to like get over things. Like if something made me mad, like I already have issues with like my anger and like etc. But now it was just like I couldn't release it, and like it was like it took a really hard time for me to get over it, or I just like wouldn't get over it, and it would just like stick with me for like a long time. But yeah, now I don't cry anymore. I like last time I cried, I shed a singular tear. Versus before that, the entirety of quarantine, I was bawling every single night. I cannot cry anymore, which is crazy. Okay, let's just go through the different things. So emotionally, I'm feeling better. I mean, generally, I still have depression. Which is funny though, how I can track to see if my depression is getting better or worse is basically seeing how horny I am or not. When I'm feeling good and not depressed at all, I'm horny all the time. Not as much because now I'm on month 4, but month 1 and 2 were pretty insane. Where I was like, geez, this is crazy. And within that, so that was also great because I was in a relationship at that point in time. I did have a girlfriend, so that was awesome. But also, I was like, yeah, I really didn't think I had bottom dysphoria. And then when different instances when we would be having sex, like initially at the beginning, I just like would almost sometimes want to break down into tears because let's get graphic, let's get specific, whatever. Whatever, they'd be like, oh, go harder, whatever. We're not using a strap at this point in time. And so I'm really like trying really hard, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like I kind of have some muscle that I can, my arm muscle, whatever. So whatever. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if this is going to be fucking taken off the internet if I say fingering, whatever. So whatever, I'm fingering them, la la la, and they're like, yeah, like whatever, you know, like faster, deeper, whatever, la la la. And in that moment, like I feel like it really shouldn't have been that big of a deal, but I was like, oh my gosh, this makes me feel so entirely bad that this is like the only way that I can feel physical penetration with my partner. That was just it, truthfully. it was just like, dang, I didn't think that I had bottom dysphoria, and I didn't think that, like, what is the fucking phrase that all fucking men say about lesbians? Penis envy. Um, where really in that moment, I think about that moment, like, that's burned into my fucking brain, where I was like, I feel sick to my stomach. I feel like I want to start crying. I feel whatever. Um, whatever. And so it's crazy. So whatever, eventually that moves forward. So now we're using a strap. And that makes me feel great. Whereas before then, I was very just much like, not a touch me not, but basically a touch me not. Um, where it's just like, I really like want you just to be happy. Like, this is great for you. And that's really what it was, which is kind of sad, honestly. We would try things, but it was just like, this isn't working for me because I just really just want this fucking dick. Anyways, so once we get the strap and that works, I'm like, OMG, this is amazing. Also, here's a fun fact. Testosterone in the body, I was getting hot flashes like crazy. Like, my body was just emanating heat. And I'd be like, yo, is it hot in here? Because I'm dying. And I think because my dosage kind of got higher again, like I'm kind of feeling the hot flashes again. Because I had a low dose for a little bit of a point in time. But anyways, sexually, that was really important for me. And also just having a partner that was like willing to like listen and accommodate like what I needed and what was going to like sexually like fulfill me and whatever, and like whether they also would talk about me and like my body and like bed and stuff like that, which like eventually like turned out to be great and like really just what I needed and like really helped me a lot, you know what I'm saying? And so in that sense it was just like I felt the most comfortable and in myself and like confident in, I guess, kind of like romantic relationships or like sexual relationships, or thinking about that way, where it's like I feel really good and feeling really myself and like whatever, and like that way. Because to me at the same time I still have this fear, as a trans dude, just like hanging out with cis dudes, because it's like, even when maybe I don't have that view because I'm literally not a girl. Sometimes I'm like, well, it's okay because like, why would I ever be rude to a trans girl or like exclude a trans girl? But it's like, I'm not a girl, so it doesn't really work the same way, but it still works the same way, where it's like, people really aren't like that unless they're like extreme transphobes or whatever. But it's like, I've had my fair share of dealing with fucking transphobes, so it's like my guard is fucking up. And like many trans men say, like, I am comfortable and like extremely comfortable in lesbian spaces, or at least fucking queer spaces, or no, fucking lesbian spaces, honestly. But it's just really sad. There's like obviously cognitive dissonance, because it's like, yo, I'm not a lesbian, but I'm totally fine being in a relationship with a lesbian if they understand that I'm not a lesbian and I'm not a girl. But with that, at the same time, I think why I also am not super staunch on man would be because I still consider myself queer in like a way that, like, I think maybe it's still fear at this point that I'm not like actively going after straight women, because I'm like, I'm not attracted to straight women, but still like my ex-lesbianness coming out, where it's like, I'm not going to try to pursue someone that's like not going to be attracted to me, so why on earth would you go after a straight woman? But also because lesbians are into women, and so I want someone that's going to be into me and wanting to slurp and la 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 and feel, you know what I'm saying, actually be attracted to me. So we'll see. And also maybe that's just like maybe solidifying 100% that like all of thatness, like that lesbianness, that womanness is like completely gone, you know what I'm saying? And living life as a black man can be scary. I mean, during 2020, I had like a lot of car troubles and like whatever troubles where I wasn't at home and I was out in public, where I just was fucking scared that something was gonna happen. And I was like, I'm scared that I'm gonna fucking die. Like, I'm scared, that I'm going to have a bad run-in. And this goes back to what I was saying of like me internalizing the anti-blackness, especially towards like black men, where it's like, just understanding that my life is going to look very differently and stuff like that. And it's like, of course, in a perfect world, like, my interaction socially wouldn't be a barrier, but like, I was up front with some of my friends where it's like, yeah, that's just like scary for me, and like I really had to think about that. It was like, am I willing to just continue living as a woman just so that like that small ounce of like passing privilege, that allows me to like not deal with certain situations or be perceived as someone that's violent, aggressive, or a criminal, or a threat, is going to bring forth in other people and that like reaction. So that was really frustrating, but it's something that I'm still working on, as I'm generally still perceived as like a woman every once in a while. I want to say 50-50. I want to say 50-50, right? Because even sometimes I was passing before I even started tea, because, you know, like the masks and everything. But like I said, I have a pretty, jumping back to my, whatever, I have a pretty feminine shaped body. And so clothing wise, outside of the face, and then also my cheeks, whatever, you know, it can be hard to pass sometimes. But I want to say at this point, I pass until I start talking. That being said, though, physically, my voice hasn't really dropped. It's kind of dropped slightly. I'm kind of noticing it more lately. But initially, in the earlier months, what I would feel was like kind of like a scratchiness in my throat, but my voice wasn't dropping. But what happened though was my range was shortening, right? Whereas like I tried to sing high notes and I couldn't do it anymore. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I literally can't sing anymore. So this permanence is kind of crazy. So currently my voice has dropped slightly, I want to say. Where it's like now I'm no longer like trying to put on a lower voice. I can kind of hear that teen boyness kind of coming out, which I'm super excited for. But my higher range, like I fucking cannot get up there anymore, which is crazy. Like I'll be singing along to a song and I like will in my head be like, okay, go to this note and like try to hit the note, and I just can't do it. And I'm like, that's so crazy. Whereas a lot of people say you have to think about retraining your voice and re-understanding how your voice will work and everything. And I'm like, yo, my range is just not there. So currently my range was this, and now it's this. So this bottom part really hasn't come in yet. But like I said, I'm on month 4, so in the next 2 months it should be dropping a little bit more, which I'm super excited for. And I'll be able to pass more, because that's kind of, like I said, as soon as I start talking, then that just kind of reveals it, and people are kind of like, whatever. And don't. And even with that, it's like sometimes I'm just like, I'm too sick of like people like being confused, or when I say, hi, my name is Liam, they'll say, Leanne? Leanne? What? Or Leo, or Leah, or whatever. And I'm just like, and sometimes I just be like, Liam, Liam, and spell it out. But sometimes I just don't want to deal with it. So I'll just be like, oh, my name is la la la, and use my dead name. Which for me, honestly, like, I like my name because I don't hate my dead name. I just realized that my new name will make it easier for me and myself. And also it's just fun to find a new name for myself. I feel like resonate a little bit more with who I am, which I feel like my original name, like I don't even need to use dead name, because it's like I really don't hate that thing that much. It's just like not who I am anymore, but it's cool, it's chill, whatever. Like it's still close to my heart, obviously. But sometimes I'm just like, yeah, la la la, this is my, and I use my old name because I'm just like, I just don't want to deal with you idiots and just trying to confuse and look me up and down and like whatever and cha 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 cha. What else is going on? Yeah, extremely horny, which is crazy. I won't say I get what guys used to say, but it's literally like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. My appetite, I'm eating more. When my levels were pretty high, I could I was eating a lot, but I was also seeing not insane, but like pretty quick muscle gain from me working out. Because like I said, I was working out a lot because I was enjoying it. And I did I thin out? I just saw a quicker muscle gain, honestly. And like even now, as I'm not working out as much anymore because my depression is getting a little bit worse, like I'm kind of like at a flat place right now. I'm not gaining a lot of weight, which is interesting, even though my eating habit isn't bomb. So I think that's also part of the physical thing. Also with that, like my collarbone and chest, this part I feel like is really thinned out a lot. You can see my collarbones pretty much. My face is getting, I want to say, a little bit broader, which is interesting for me because I already have big cheeks, so I really can't tell sometimes. But I feel like my jaw is coming in a little bit stronger. I mean, mainly what I've seen has been hair growth. I already was a hairy person for like being a female or whatever, but that's just genetic. I have all the women in my family are super hairy. And so, like I said, I'll start puberty early. So I was hairy like fourth grade. Like I was just what it was. And so the places where I already have hair, which was everywhere, were just a lot more now. My armpit hair has gotten more, but like not really. So that's interesting. So it's kind of, I feel like, still on a female estrogen level moment versus my facial hair. I already had facial hair. My chin hair, you can't really greatly see it right now. I'll lean forward. Hopefully it'll focus. Because I trimmed it because it was getting annoying. Also, since I'm black, I have more prone to ingrown hairs, which has been really frustrating. And also just behaving generally, since I don't have a great relationship with my dad right now. He fucking wanted to disown me and like throw me out of the house after I told him I was trans, and he just kind of used me generally as an issue, and he basically was like, you're going to hell, your life is all destruction. He's just like basically completely ashamed of me and is like, don't tell any of your friends or the family because like I don't support it or anything you do. Which is fucking funny because one of the first instances, it's all about representation, you know what I'm saying? One of the first instances where I was like, yeah, that's fucking me, was watching Boys Don't Cry with my dad during quarantine. He was like, let's watch this movie. He was like, it's pretty brutal, it's pretty bad, and it's very sad, but it's a good movie. So we sat down and watched it, and I was like, you motherfucker, you idiot, you don't know what you've just done. So, Hilary Swank, I know you're not trans, you have my heart, you were hot in that movie. And Chloe Sevigny, like that idea, I thought that was, and I know everyone hates it because they didn't use a trans actor, but I also liked it because they didn't use someone that was on testosterone. That's what I really loved about it, where it was obviously, I know what Hilary Swank looks like, and I don't know the story of Brandon Tina, and don't know if Brandon Tina was or was not on testosterone, but it was really cool to see Brandon pass in that way through Hilary Swank without testosterone on the movie and people treating him that way. So that was really cool. And then also one of the other movies and one of my favorite books now, Orlando, Sally Porter movie based on the Virginia Woolf book, is also androgynous looking woman fucking Tilda Swinton becoming a man halfway through, becoming a woman halfway through. So this gender bending period piece, history epic, which people should also watch as well. My other recommendation. So just that representation, like I said, once again, like, why can't I think of this woman's name? Tilda Swinton has not been on testosterone. So this is all really cool. This is all really great to see representation. All right, back to tea progress. So eventually, after the second month, I got on my parents' insurance because I was like, this is becoming, I just couldn't afford it anymore. I was just like, I need to be on insurance, and like, what's gonna fucking happen is gonna fucking happen. Like, when they find out, like, they're gonna fucking find out, and we'll deal with it from there. But I realized since I was at point 4, which I shouldn't have been at, I really shouldn't have been at point 3 either, because basically, your dose is based on like how much your body needs extra of and how much it needs to like trigger everything else. So like you have some dormant testosterone in your body already, and you're injecting it will like kick that into gear too. So it also depends on how much you already have in your body that's like being awoken or whatever. So truthfully, I didn't even need point 0.3 to be in like average male range, which is 400 to 900. So with point 0.4, I was at 1400, which is almost double the amount, which is insanely dangerous. Which is like I could have gotten deadly blood clot and died. I could have had a stroke and died, said my nurse. So like that was crazy. But I was feeling good, so it was crazy. But don't do that. That's insane. Don't do that. Just because I survived, it was because I didn't have my labs done and I didn't have my blood test done. So the first 2 months I was working with Plume Health, which was fantastic and amazing and just awesome because for trans people, by trans people, my doctor was trans, everyone I worked with was trans. It was easy, went to the Rite Aid, the CVS, whatever, picked up my prescription, did it all by myself, paid out of pocket. It was great, whatever. However, I said if you're doing that, you're going to get the average dosage prescription at the beginning, which is 0.3. And for me, even with 0.3, if I would have gotten my labs done, which I didn't because they don't make you get your labs done until 3 months, I think my dosage probably would have been too high as well. It probably would have been around 1100 or 1,000, which is still like very above like the average range for a dude and still could have been dangerous. But it made me, but so that's that. So take with what you will, you know what I'm saying? Be cautious maybe the first couple months before you have your blood test. Don't go on a plane, anything like altitude, whatever. Watch out for blood clots because it's dangerous. Anyways, besides that, yo, I definitely think my feet are getting bigger, I'm not gonna lie. Like, initially I was a 9.5, now I'm a 10. Or at least my feet are just flattening out or spreading more. As like pregnant women, their feet spread. Maybe my feet are just spreading a little bit more. Like I said, I did have some weight loss anyways, but my muscle definition is really getting in there. I'm seeing more of my veins. I have more hand veins, and just like generally arm veins and stuff like that. Bottom growth, pretty big. Not insanely big, obviously, this point, but like bigger than pre-T, obviously. And the first month was pretty uncomfortable because everything was just rubbing on my bottom growth a lot, like, so I had to go get some nice comfy underwear. Originally I was wearing, because me aesthetically, styly, like as a fashionista myself, I love a cute tidy whitey. I think it's classic, I think it's chic, I think it's teen boy next door heartthrob, I think it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? I love a cute cotton tidy whitey. I need a hashtag in my Calvin's moment. But that was fucking uncomfortable as hell because that cotton was rough as hell. So I went to the store. I had to get what would you even call it? Spandex? Basically some spandex, some ultra soft, whatever, and that feels great. And that's still what I use today. But I can wear cotton. It doesn't hurt anymore. But it's just more comfortable generally. But it's not like anything hurts, it's just now I'm more prone to wearing the spandex ones. What else is going on here? I had abs for like 0.5 seconds when I was working out pretty hard, which is crazy because I've never had abs in my life, and I used to be a 3-sport athlete in high school. And that's generally that. Like I said, my hair is really coming in a lot. I have a mustache, which is really coming in. And generally, I just feel my face like kind of getting a little bit harder and stronger. I feel like at this point in your journey, it's the easiest way to look at it is going to be pictures because everything is so subtle. You're only going to be able to see it through pictures and etc. But outside of that, yo, everything's going crazy. Everything's going great. I'm so excited. I specifically planned when I wanted to start taking tea, if it was a good time for me or not, so that my 6 months could be around the time of my birthday. So that'll be super exciting. That my voice will be dropping a little bit more by the time it's my birthday come around. And And that's that. But I don't know what else to say, you know. It's pretty crazy. I still, like I said, don't have a great relationship with my family. I've come out to everyone at this point. And things are going to be what it's going to be. I'm applying for jobs out of the state. Like I said, I'm broke as hell. I don't have a job anymore. I'm a little lonely. Like I said, I was in a bad relationship, and that's over with now, and that took me a while to kind of heal from. So, you know, life is life. I appreciate everything and honestly. So, that's my update for right now. I don't think I have anything else to say. So, if you've had any other experiences similar, this is like now a 2-hour video, so listen if you want to. If not, that's okay. Why does it smell like weed? I'm currently straight edge right now because I just need to be fucking there for myself and conscious for all of my decisions and not fucking space out and black out because I'm sad and uncomfortable. Yeah, yo, I was fucking depressed. I'd be taking handles up to my room in my fucking house and like fucking throwing up all over my bed because I was just wanting to be dead. But now I'm excited to be alive. Anyways, so cheers to that. Cheers to all that will come. If you were referenced in this video, what's up? Or maybe not. Maybe only my roommate responded to this because I'm the only person I'm still on good terms with my roommates. Truly, which is sad and scary and whatever. But that's my update for right now. Peace out. From Liam. Hey. You know, there's nothing scarier than a guy winking at you. Yeah. Okay, cool. Bye. Cheese out. Portugal.